Okay, so it's been a few days since Dawn of the Hunt 0.2 dropped, and I've compiled some of my thoughts. I've just been writing down things that have been bothering me as I play. Overall, I think the endgame itself is in a bit of a better state in some ways and worse in others. So starting off, I don't actually mind the lower damage across the board. I thought the game needed a power nerf for sure. However, I don't really know why they nerfed early game damage so much. I was asking people in my chat, I was looking at other streamers. It looked like almost nobody was having a good time. I thought the damage was pretty reasonable for leveling before, except for like Perfect Strike on Warrior, obviously that like one-shot bosses. So yeah, I feel like they definitely took away too much damage there, and it's more of like an annoyance thing. So it's not even, I don't really even care that you're so weak, but there was another major problem that was kind of revealed to me that I didn't fully realize the extent of until this patch. Oh, Merry Christmas, by the way. So I started as a melee character mostly. I mean, it was hybrid, it was Huntress, right? So the low damage really revealed to me that the boss fights in this game are actually not really good. I do not like most of them. The only boss fight I actually had fun on this patch was Viper in Act 3. And like Gunnar is cool aesthetically. Count Gunnar, the end of Act 1. He's cool aesthetically, but I don't know. All of these bosses, I mean the entire game has this one major problem for me, especially on melee. You don't really notice on a range because, well, you're ranged. So when you're near a boss, your character feels like they're lathered up in some kind of butter or like lube or something. I don't know. You like slide around everywhere. You're desynced. You're rubber banding. It's really bad. So obviously on ranged you kind of miss that problem, but it feels really bad. It's not crisp. You're bouncing all over the place. You're just constantly getting like pushed around, and the game does not handle it well. And then there's some fights like the Ultimatum Ascendancy with the bird, or not the bird, I think it's the Chimera, Uxmal, and he just like constantly flies around. I'll put a clip there showing my fight in like 3 times speed or something. And he is just constantly off the ground. And when you go to fight him in melee range, he's constantly in a giant AoE of degen shit. It's just terrible. Some fights are like that. There's a lot of fights where they just stand in their degens, and melee is rough to play in this game. The game feels like it kind of wants to be Dark Souls, but it's failing at it, in my opinion. If you play ranged, it can kind of masquerade as it. I think when you play melee, it really falls apart. And it kind of maybe hits a niche of people who want things that seem like they're very mechanically intensive, but in reality, I think they're just annoying to fight rather than difficult. So that's my main problem with combat in this game. It's not just bosses too. It happens on enemies. You just like get bounced around them, and I don't know. It's especially with the bigger enemies. I don't know if it's a problem with their hitboxes being too big or something, but really bad. And this is not a new problem either. It's just hasn't been fixed. And then I don't know why zone layouts change on League Start. So if you didn't know, in this game, like map layouts will change based on the season and move everything around, rotate it. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, they mentioned they're going to do it. I'm pretty sure they did it. I could be misremembering what softcore trade was at the start last time, but pretty sure it changed around. And one thing I do know is that playing different game modes, like if you go from softcore trade to hardcore SF, the layouts will be different. I don't know why they do this. I don't know why they like this idea. They mentioned it as a way to like make it more fresh and more fun for players. Make the campaign not so boring once you've done it 100 times. I do not think it accomplished that whatsoever. I don't know how that would be more fun. Basically, it is 100 times harder to learn where to go in this game than it is in PoE 1. Granted, these zones are supposed to point towards which way you run in the zone, but it doesn't work in every zone. And I feel like really it only works in Act 1 to a degree. And once you hit Act 2 and 3, it doesn't work at all. So maybe once they fix that, it'll feel better and it won't be such a big issue. But running around aimlessly in such huge zones is not good. Granted, they did just put out this changes to Act 3 areas, so maybe that'll clear up Act 3 a little bit. We'll see. So, everything in the game has a huge delay. Like everything. Opening a portal, having to go click the well instead of just portaling back into your map. Waiting for bosses to die. Waiting for monsters to die. Waiting for lore to play out in town. It's bad. Bad for long-term players. It's fine for the story gamers who are going to play it once and never play again. But I'm tired of waiting 30 seconds for Count Gunnar to drop his loot. And now even the new endgame stuff, the corruption zones, not this, but before you cleanse it, whenever you kill the boss, you have to wait for Doriani to come up, and he comes and gives the boss like a hand job for 5 minutes, and then they explode, and then you get the loot. It's stupid. I hate how many delays there are like that in this game. You have to wait for so much stuff. And then loot is still missing. They've addressed this and it will be added, but still a lot of stash affinities. And if you don't know what affinity is, it's like you click the item and it will go into the correct tab automatically. A lot of them are still missing, like runes and some socketable stuff. So that really disrupts the flow of like looting quickly, depositing it. That'll be fixed. That one's not a huge deal. I do not like cheat death omens. Okay, this one's not a cheat death omen that I have, but there are omens that essentially you'll hit low life and it will fully heal you. I do not like the addition of this. I do not like anything like that. I think it's stupid. And then additionally, or related, and perhaps the biggest issue, defense options in this game are, or no, second biggest issue, I'd say the actually fighting bosses and stuff being pretty bad is number one. But number two, for the worst thing, defense options in this game are really, 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 really abysmal. Pretty much every build will go pure energy shield or hybrid energy shield evasion. I don't know why I don't know why they took life at off the tree at this point. It doesn't make sense to me. And then the only way you can go life essentially is like if you're going blacksmith with getting a bunch of life and then you get a bunch on your ascendancy. I don't know. Stacking strength, like gemling, you could do it on smith too, so you can actually get a decent amount of life. I don't know. It's weird. You have essentially 3 defensive options in this game that actually are like not terrible, and two of them are essentially the same. Um, Overall, not a fan of not much defense on the tree. I'd like to see them address that at some point. That's probably my biggest concern. I mean, as a predominantly hardcore player, even though I play softcore in this game because I don't think it's good enough yet for hardcore. So I don't think I would ever league start this game on hardcore in its current state, because overall it's just not good enough all around in pretty much any way. Oddly enough, something that wasn't included in this game that might make defense feel better, and it's really weird that this wasn't included in me, is guard skills from PoE1. If you don't know what that is, they're essentially like reactive defensive measures. And the only thing I can really think of in this game is like Jade, the Jade thing on Warbringer. I don't know, I feel like that plays perfectly in this game. It's a reactive like button you press to get defense, and it's interactive. It's, I don't know. I don't know why there's so like, you only have offensive options in this game when you're building your character. You don't really ever think about what kind of defense you're gonna go, because you already know what one you're gonna go. You're gonna go energy shield. And then last thing, why are trade site prices still manually updated? It often baits noobs because the prices are like sorted incorrectly. I don't know why. I heard a cow. It's probably that. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it's like there's like one employee that goes into the trade site and he updates the prices himself, but he only does it like once every month. So for the longest times, it's just sorted incorrectly, and people are like, why is this item on your build 5 divines? And I'm like, it's not, it's 20x. But divines like start at like 5x. So it lists the divine listings first, even though that's not the real price. So that's pretty frustrating. Yeah, I mean, those are the only things I could think of, like, as I played that were really, really bothering me. There's probably a few more. Overall, the lower damage in endgame is good. The new uniques they added are pretty good. I do like the endgame stuff they added, but I don't know, overall the game, I don't know if they seem kind of lost or what. I don't know what's going on, but it's kind of weird. I don't know. I'm hoping once the game is like fully, like content-wise with the campaign and everything, and all the classes are added, they can really start to hammer this stuff down. My like copium is that they're spending all their resources trying to build all that stuff from the ground up, which would take more time than fixing it later. So that's my hope. Other than that, those are my main pain points, so that's about it. If I think of more, I might make a second video.